Children like to play. What if the very play children like to play becomes the very source of the learning we desire for them? Welcome to another free training from House of Wisdom Edu Consult. Today we are looking at active learning approach for younger pupils, younger learners. In the previous video, we looked at how we can transit from passive learning to active learning. But the focus then was more applicable. The focus then were more applicable to older learners. So now we want to see how we can implement active learning for younger learners. Talk about preschoolers and nursery pupils. And the summary of what we are going to be looking at is learning through play. Yeah, we all know that children like to play. As a matter of fact, to some of us educators, we see this tendency to like to play or to enjoy play to be a problem. What if that tendency is actually a blessing? What if that tendency is actually something that can facilitate learning? What if that tendency is something, or that play itself is something that can drive the assimilation of the lesson we want to pass across to these children? That is why we are looking at this today. Play can be a blessing. It doesn't have to be a problem. For you as an educator, the fact that your children like to play naturally. As a matter of fact, play is one of the way we have been wired. By instinctively, children play because it's one of the survival instincts that God has put in us. Because all those play that children engage in growing up has a lot to do, has a lot to contribute to our development as humans and preparing us for real life. We are going to be seeing all of that today. So we are looking at learning to play. Now, what does it mean to learn to play? What is learning through play? So learning through play refers to the process where children acquire knowledge, skills, understanding through engaging in playful activities. This is a natural and effective way to learn. It promotes exploration, experimentation, and creativity. Play fosters social, cognitive, emotional development, help individuals make sense of their world, and prepare for future learning. And here are some benefits of play. Skill development. It allows children to develop a wide range of skills, which include communication skills, problem-solving skills, motor skills, that is gross motor skills and fine motor skills, and then critical thinking. Cognitive development is also there. The brain to develop, and then help children to develop their language skills. Likewise, we have social and emotional growth. They encourage children to interact with others. Help them to explore their emotion and build self-confidence. It also prepares children for formal education. Early learning through play lays the foundation for formal education by helping children develop crucial skills and concepts. We are going to see how play can prepare children that are going into engineering. And engineering, how play can really prepare them. We are going to see that later. So, flexibility and creativity, play allow children to experiment they imagine, they come up with new ideas, foster creativity and adaptability. Now, play, engagement and motivation. Play is inherently fun and engaging. So there is no way to get children engaged, no better way to get them engaged than through play. So make learning more enjoyable and motivating for children. Yeah, so those are the benefits of learning through play. Enormous benefits we have there. So in this training, we are just going to be going through this 8 kind of play that you can use in your classroom to engage your learners, to make learning active for them, to make it fun for them, and to help you even achieve your own goal while also having fun. So we have learning through dramatic play, learning through sand play, learning through water play, learning through dough and clay play, learning through tabletop play, learning through small word play, learning through construction play, learning through creative play. So let's start with the very first one, learning through dramatic play. Look at the picture we have there. You can see those children role-playing a store, role-playing selling, marketing. And then we see on the other side, we see children role-playing somebody using telescope to view something that seems to be a boat. This is what we call dramatic play. And children are role-playing, acting a drama. That's also called role-playing. So now let's look at dramatic play. Let's focus on it a little more. So it's also known as pretend or make-believe play. Dramatic play is a powerful tool for learning and development in early childhood. It allows children to explore, experiment, and learn about the world around them in a fun and engaging way. Now, here are the opportunities from dramatic play. Pupils express themselves. They explore language freely. They explore feelings and find out about themselves and others. They develop cooperation, care, consideration, and control. They exercise choice and make decisions. They use mathematical language and develop mathematical concepts. They develop a range of motor skills, using their skills to make the things needed for their play and adapt as necessary. They explore a fantasy world of their own creation. All right, here are some dramatic play that, how dramatic play supports learning. It helps learners to inculcate social skills. They help them to inculcate emotional development. Social skill in terms of how to relate with themselves and others. Emotional skills, understanding themselves. Cognitive skill, that is brain, mental development. Language development help them to learn to talk. They experiment with language, they experiment with words. Literacy skill help them to develop reading and writing. Look at that. Integrate print elements and all of that. The process of dramatizing, they end up learning to read in the course of dramatizing. Then creativity and imagination help them to be creative and to be imaginative. So much explanation we can do on that. But because we don't have all the time in this video, so I won't dwell so much on those. I just want to mention those points, and then if you want us to do a detailed training on this, you can reach out to us. We'll be glad to bring the training down to your school at an affordable fee. So, examples of dramatic play. Example of play that you can come up with which children can learn. We have house play. Children can act out daily routine like cooking, cleaning, taking care of family members. They can act it out. Doctor's office. Children can pretend to be doctor and patients, practicing medical procedure and learning about the human body. Then store can, like the picture we saw there, the children are actually role playing a store, dramatizing what a store look like. So children can act a store. Children can set up a store, manage inventory, and practice sales and transaction. The restaurants, children can take on roles of chef, waiters, and customers, learning about food preparation and so on and so forth, and services. So those are some examples of dramatic play. The list is endless. These are just some examples that you can consider to come up with to drive learning in your classroom as a preschool educator, early years practitioner. Another one we are looking at is learning through sound play. You can see children here playing with sound. Growing up, even those of us that didn't have so much of this privilege of experiencing all this in a formal school setting, we play with sand growing up as children, as toddlers, as babies. Little did we know that those play have a way of preparing us. We learned a lot by engaging in those play. Now we are going to see some of those things that children can learn by playing with sand. Now we know that small children are instinctively attracted. They are instinctively attracted to all things the planet is made up of. Talk about water, talk about sand. Children are fascinated with water. They are fascinated with sand. These materials are rich with learning opportunities for children. But learning will not take place without the children's own delight in the substance themselves. It is pleasure which provides the motivation for their play. So children learn about the world through their senses, and their first response to sound and water is very important. They touch, they part, they swell, they smell, they stroke it, sometimes for a very long period. Take pleasure just in tactile experience. By this tactile experience, they learn to differentiate the texture of things by just feeling them between their hands. Now, here are some equipment that you can invest in as a school or as an early year practitioner that just to make learning with sand play more useful, more effective, more impactful. You need large sand tray, small individual trays, creative sand tray, silver sand, the type of sand you can use now, silver sand, beach sand, builder's sand, clean one, delta sand. Then we have color sand, if you can get that, aprons, brush, dustpan, buckets, and so on. So they listed there. School funnel, cups, jugs, combs, sand mills, sand wheels. So for more details on this, you can reach out to us. Then here are what the children learning opportunities in sand play. Cognitive development, children get to mental development. They develop the ability to solve problem solving skills, because in the course of play they encounter problem and they learn to find solution to those problems. They develop their creativity and imagination. Cognitive skills is also developed. They explore textures. They experiment with different tools. It helps children develop their cognitive abilities. And we have sensory development, tactile exploration, that is texture. As they are feeling those things, there's sensory integration. Sampling integrates, stimulate various senses, including touch, sight, and what have you. So it stimulates the senses of these children. That is one of the ways they are prepared to be smart in life, because their senses are being stimulated. There are various different aspects of their sense organs or sense are being stimulated early, and those various parts of their senses are getting better with use. So motor skill development, fine motor skill and gross motor skills are also developed. We have social and emotional development. They interact and they learn to communicate. Their communication skill is developed. Emotional expression, they learn to express their feelings. Other benefits is language development. Children use language to describe their creations. And then the literary skills also develop. Sound can be used to practice writing letters and numbers, improving pre-writing skills. So children can learn to write on sound and so on and so forth. So it gives them a sense of accomplishments. Whatever they are able to do on the sand, they feel they have achieved something. So where you don't have sand, there are some substitutes that you can consider. Where you don't have access to a neat sand or a clean sand, there are some substitutes you can consider to achieve the same purpose. We have sawdust shavings, peat kept moist, peat which must be kept moist, shaving dust or shavings, sawdust or shavings, then lentils or grains or rice, then pasta. Those are alternatives you can go for. Where you don't have access to clean sand that you can use for the purpose. So water play. Just like children are fascinated with sand, they're also fascinated with water. But that fascination, you can leverage on it to facilitate learning. So by careful observation, the adult can provide experiences in sand and water play to challenge and extend young learners' learning. From just splashing it in water, they go on to scoop it up, they pour it out, then they scoop it up and pour it with increasing accuracy into another container, filling the container without letting it overflow. So ordinarily when you leave the children to water, you just want to splash, you just want to spill, but you can achieve more. And that is your role as early years practitioner, to see how you can get those children to learn more from that water. Here are some equipment that you need to invest in as a school or as early year practitioner to achieve what we are talking about here. Here you can see them: buckets, corks, sponge, doors, water wheels, funnels, baby bath basin, what have you. They are there. So you can reach out for us for more details on this. Then here are the learning opportunities that are in water play. Learn problem solving. Scientific thinking begins from there, because as they are playing with the water, they are asking questions. They are wondering, why is this thing like this? Why is it like that? They also develop their mathematics skills. Measurements, weights, volume can be introduced through pouring water from one container to another. Then fine motor skill is developed. Gross motor skill of lifting buckets, using mop, playing with water balloons is also, those activities develop gross motor skill. Then hand-eye coordination is also developed through water play. And we have emotional regulation is developed. Learn to regulate the emotion. Social skills is developed. They learn to relate better. Creativity and imagination is also developed. They build their vocabulary because they use what to describe what they are doing. They also learn to, storytelling skill is also developed. Communication, storytelling. Water play can be a springboard for imaginative play where children can create stories and narratives. Then sensory exploration, tactile experiment, they can feel the water and they can tell the difference. So sensory integration is also one of the benefits of water play. So now, learning through tabletop play. So we have tabletop play encompasses board games, role-playing games, and other interactive formats. They offer a powerful avenue for learning across various subjects and age groups. This game fosters children critical thinking, problem solving, social, emotional skills, while also engaging memory, concentration, and creativity. Benefit like others, cognitive skills is there, social and emotional learning, academic application. So table games can be used to teach variety of subjects, including math, science, history, language, arts. So tabletop play can be used. Then it also stimulates creativity and imagination in the learners. So equipment and resources. So equipment you might need to invest in jigsaw, puzzles, lotto, mosaic, a number of them. You can reach out to us for the list or further guide on how to get those. Then we have tabletop games. Examples, we have board games, we have card games, role-playing games. So allow for collaborative storytelling and character development, fostering social and emotional skills. Then miniature war games involving strategic combat and tactical planning, developing critical thinking and social spatial reasoning. So that is board game. Now we have dough and clay play. Dough and clay play. Learning through dough and clay play. Children love dough. So playing with dough is relaxing and creative, and there is no right answer. Clay can be used to provide similar learning experience as dough. So where you don't have access to clay, you can go for dough. Where you don't have access to dough, you can go for clay. Guidelines, guidelines on how to use dough and clay. Won't be dwelling much on that. If you want details, reach out to us. Okay, general guidelines. So language development. In the course of playing with clay and dough, the children develop language. They use words like push, pull, drop, squeeze, press, and so on and so forth. So that is how they develop language, color, and what have you. Here are some resources you might need for clay and dough play. You can also reach out to us for that if you are interested. So the breakdown of learning opportunities in clay and dough play, fine motor skills. As the children are manipulating the dough and play, they are developing their fine motor skills. Sensory exploration. cognitive development, creativity and imagination, problem solving, social and emotional development. Then another one is learning through small word play. We have seen dramatic play. Here is small word play. You can see what we have in this picture. Children simulating what they experience in real world or what they have seen happen in real world, stimulating it in their own world, creating a small world of theirs with different character and experiences. That's what we refer to as small world play. Children on their own, whenever they have access to whatever, they can turn to characters. You see them on their own doing small word play, and those have a lot of benefits. But now, as in a formal setting or a school formal setting, you are not leaving them to just do it by themselves, even though you are giving them the freedom to make choices, but you are guiding them so that what you want them to learn, they are able to learn. So small word play is a type of imaginative or role play which enables children to be creative and spontaneous in dramatic as well as mundane life situation which interest them. It is closely related to puppet play and storytelling. So children come up with story and they are telling it. They have different character. They have toys or whatever they can convert to any character, and they give them any kind of name they like. And you see them saying this one is saying this to this and all of that. So children engage with this world around them, exploring concepts like community, emotions, and even numeracy in a safe and controlled setting. What are the process that are involved? Active learning. They learn actively, they imitate, they make images, they can make sound, they can make word, they can make special expression leading to a story or make-believe situation. They make symbols. So what are the type of small word play that learners can engage in? We have they can play with animals and other creatures. You can see them. Can role play. They can have a small world of zoo. They can play with buildings. Small world of different houses. The children just come up with different houses. Say my house, my friend's house, and all of that. You can play with a setting like a pond, a beach, a swimming pool, a snow scene, swamp, what have you. They can play with people, kinds of family figure. They can have father, mother. I'm talking about toys now. They have a toy as a father, a mother. They have another one as children. They can look for anything and label them as a father, the mother, children. Then they can play with vehicles. They can have different kind of vehicles, and they can play with improvised materials and equipment like blocks, boxes, things, pebbles, and what have you. So, how does this support learning? Imaginative and creativity, social and emotional development, cognitive development, language development, fine motor skill. Here are some resources that you can look out for to facilitate this in your school or in your classroom. These are the little pets play. Dollhouse, furniture and families. Play parks, Royal Palace, Space Station, Lego, and so on and so forth. And learning through construction play. Learning through construction play. Construction play, also known as constructive play, involve manipulating objects to build or create something new. This type of play is a crucial part of early childhood development. They manipulate objects to build and create something new. What are the learning opportunities here? Problem-solving skills you develop, spatial reasoning, constructing structures help children understand spatial relationship, talking about shapes and how things fit together. No better way to teach spatial reasoning than children experiencing this while they are trying to make things come together to build something new. And this is a very good foundation for any child that is going to end up as engineer. So cause and effect, they learn cause and effect. They know that there is effect for every action, every move lead to something. And they know that, okay, if I can control the cause, I can control the effects. They help them to develop concentration. They learn cooperation, creativity, and imagination. And they develop their self-esteem. Being creative help them to develop their self-esteem. Then they have fine motor skills. As they are learning to manipulate, they are developing the ability to use their fingers better. They also develop language. And then construction play also introduce them to mathematical concepts like symmetry, patterns, and measurements. It prepare them for later learning. Studies suggest a link between construction play and later academic success, particularly in areas like spatial reasoning and mathematics. So these are some language that come up in the course of construction play. Learn positioning and directional language, so that beside, behind, in front of, and so on and so forth. They learn mathematical language like shape, size, space, and so on and so forth. Then they learn language relating to construction: build, join, break, apart. Here are some resources you can invest in as an educator, early year practitioner: Lego, wooden building blocks, wooden cubes, and what have you. So example of construction play: building with blocks, using construction toys, creating structure with loose parts, playing with sand and water. It's also an example of construction play. So learning through creative play. Now, we have seen three types of we have seen dramatic play, we have seen what is it called, small word play. Here is creative play. So by this creative play, as you can see in the diagram, it's more like creative arts. Any kind of play that results in creating something beautiful, something appealing. That is what we refer to as creative play. So creative play allows children to explore, experiment, and express themselves in a fun and engaging way, supporting their cognitive, emotional, and social growth. All right, aspect of creative play, we have arts and design, music, movement and dance and drama, creative use of language in storytelling and role play. So the equipment and resources that can be useful for creative play, a range of basic materials should be readily available for any activity. So scissors, glue and spreader, card of different color and thickness, variety of brushes, and what have you. So here are the learning opportunities in creative play: problem-solving skills, I develop language and communication, I develop imagination and creativity. Early math and science, activities like building with blocks or experimenting with materials introduce children to concepts like shape, space, and so on and so forth. Emotional regulation is also developed. Social skill, collaboration is developed. Negotiation, communication. Successfully completing tasks boosts self-esteem. Empathy and emotional intelligence is also developed. Now, those are the various kind of play that can take place in your classroom as an educator or in your school that you can organize for your pupils. How do you apply it? So play can be designed or adapted to align with specific curriculum. Whatever curriculum you are running in your school, you can adapt play to align with it. Whatever objective you have as a teacher for your subject or for a topic, you can adapt play to make learning more relevant and engaging. Just choose a suitable play to facilitate active learning for every lesson you want to teach your younger learners. So every lesson you want to teach, just think about a play that will be relevant. Think about a play that you can use to pass across the message in an engaging, fun way. Think about a play that you can use to hold the attention of those learners and make them grasp the concepts you are trying to pass across readily. So from the list of play we have here, 8 of them, there should be one that you can come up with based on the resources available to you. So dramatic play, sand play, water play, tool and clay play, tabletop play, small world play, construction play, creative play. I hope you have learned something from this training. If you want more, you can always reach out to us. We'll be glad to make our services accessible and available to you wherever you are. It's an affordable fee. You can watch the video all over again, recommend it to other early years practitioners and teachers so that they can also see how they can explore play as a tool for learning and no more as problem. Thank you for your time. See you next time.